So this is a follow-up to the video I made about Africa Bambaataa. Now I've seen some people try to bring in KRS-One's name into the mix again because KRS-One, when the story came out, he defended Africa Bambaataa, and after he defended Africa Bambaataa, KRS-One took quite a beating on social media to the point where he was forced to release a statement on his website, which he has since removed and whatnot. And I believe after that, Karis One just stopped giving interviews and everything. He just did shows. He did very few interviews and whatnot, or no interviews at all. And I would just see, random statements from KRS-One here and there, but no interviews by anyone lately. I mean, if somebody has any interviews that, or knows of any interviews that the Blast Master did, after that, feel free to send some links my way. But anyhow, I've always been wanting to talk about KRS-One as far as it relates to the whole Africa Bambaataa situation. And, KRS-One, if you take all the emotions out of it, KRS-One was talking from the perspective of somebody that's a friend of Bambaataa. And that's not to say KRS-One, for all we know, pretty much didn't know any of those things about Africa Bambaataa, nor did he witness that. Because, there's some people that are saying, well, it was an open secret. Everybody knows. And I challenge that notion because if everybody knew, so to speak, then why were some people all, Zulu Nation and all that? And I even question Hassan Campbell because Hassan Campbell was still chilling with Africa Bambaataa as an adult. So does that sound, that's not to minimize what, allegedly happened and everything, but I won't go there. Anyway, I'm just saying with KRS-One and Africa Bambaataa, it's possible that KRS-One didn't know that side of Bambaataa, and KRS-One can only speak from the stuff that he's seen with Bambaataa, not any of the stuff that supposedly happened behind closed doors, because two things could be true at the same time. And KRS-One is only talking from his vantage point about the Africa Bambaataa that he knew, but no one's giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's, oh, we should cancel KRS-One because he dared speak up and defend Bambaataa. And all I'm saying is this. KRS-One pretty much didn't know. Is that hard to believe that it's possible that he didn't know? It's not. But again, you have all these people that are in their feelings, and I get it. Those kind of actions, that is a very serious matter. It's a very delicate matter and not to be taken lightly. But as I said in my previous video, when it comes to black boys or black males in particular, we're treated suspect from the time we're toddlers. We're cute as babies, but when we could walk, the hunt is on, as Charles Dutton's character would say in Menace to Society. We're looked at with suspicion. We're looked at with disdain. And even if something does happen to us, like that act and whatnot, well, I'll just say violation, we're looked at even more suspect because somebody will come up and say, well, where were your parents at? Instead of just, coming to our aid. Notice that this story was never on a CNN. It was never covered by, an Entertainment Tonight or a Inside Edition or even an MTV or a BET, because when it comes to black men or young black boys, nobody cares. And I mean, granted, Hassan Campbell, he instead of just waiting for somebody to come out and do an interview him, he just went and went on YouTube, started his own channel, and told his own story instead of, waiting for TMZ to call him up. I'll give him credit on that. Now, will he stop talking about African Bambaataa? No. I think he still will continue to speak about him. But my thing with Hassan was this. Hassan, and I think since African Bambaataa passed, I think Hassan Campbell, if he's so adamant about this, he should, and there's several production houses in New York, and Hassan has some money. He should go down to one of them production houses, rent a nice quality camera and some equipment to go with it, and do a documentary on Africa Bambaataa and on himself instead of just doing all these YouTube videos. If you feel that passionate about African Bambaataa, don't wait for my son or others to speak on him. You speak on him. You do your own documentary. You put your own voice out there, and you go and do your own research and find some other victims allegedly that are willing to speak on camera. I know you and Randy Savage don't get along, or B Stinger. You guys don't get along, but you can find some other people you can interview and discuss the whole situation now that Bam is gone. Expecting others to carry your crusade for you is just, silly to me. And that's not to minimize what you went through and whatnot, but I think you should do that. That's just me. But getting back to KRS-One, I had no problem with what KRS-One said at the time, because he was speaking about somebody that's a friend of his. That was it. He was speaking on a friend that he knew, and it's possible that he didn't see that side of Bambaataa or knew that side existed. And I can't blame KRS-One if he decided that he doesn't want to do any interviews anymore and just wants to just do shows and go on and just, maybe do a lecture here and there, but not do interviews. I don't blame KRS-One for that, because I would just do it either if I felt I was betrayed or my words were misconstrued. And I guess the Blastmaster kind of underestimated the power of social media as far as the crowd goes. So there's that. But my last thing is that, for those, who have friends and you may stick up and defend them, you may not know of certain things that they probably or allegedly did behind closed doors. KRS-One is no different in that regard. Should he be canceled? No. Audience, tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment box. This is Iron Will Media.